Winner bracket semi-final number 1, the last chance qualifier of our Nations Cup is starting up here. Guys, it's cool games that we're having from here on out. 4 teams are left that are trying to make it into the next phase of the tournament. Now, as a quick reminder, we started this off with 28 teams. They were split in 7 groups, and the first place of every single group advanced to phase 2. And now we're in the last chance qualifier, where all of the second place teams in those groups have a chance to also advance, but only one of the teams can make it, and we now whittled it down to 4. So we have a single elimination bracket, and we are currently in the first semifinal. All of these games are now best of 5s, so whichever team loses from the 2 on screen right now is out of the tournament completely, and the winner moves on to the grand final, where they have a chance to fight for that last remaining slot in phase 2. That's essentially where we're at. $10,000 are on the line for the tournament. With best of 5s, of course, it also starts to get interesting, more and more interesting, as we're going through a match, because every hero can only be played once within a series. And currently we're looking at Sweden against Team Germany. Now, this is the second seed from Germany and the first seed from Sweden. Interestingly enough, Sweden actually has 2 teams currently in the last chance qualifier. The second seed from Sweden is also still represented, and they're going to play against Russia later. But now, let's focus on game number 1. So, this should actually be a pretty big highlight. Honestly, I'm super hyped for all of this now. We had the group stage. There was always one top dog in each group. There were a lot of games that were more one-sided because, again, it's an open tournament. Anybody could sign up. That's always one of the things that comes with it. There are no restrictions. Otherwise, it would have been an invitational, and then you just exclude too many people that would like to play. So, we had an open tournament, but now we whittled it essentially down to roughly 12 teams by now, or 11 when you're looking at who's already made it through. And the 4 that are in the last chance qualifier here, they are all teams that you should recognize. A lot of the players are former HGC players or have been in the community for a long time, and this is where it starts to get really more and more spicy. Not only here in the last chance qualifier, but then also as we're moving on into the second phase of the tournament. So I'm expecting some fireworks here. Everybody that loses is out, so that means this is your only chance. There's no losers bracket this time, so you gotta give it your all. We're starting things off with a pick on Johanna for the German team, as we're going into Dragonshire. So let's see how the Swedes are going to react. They played some interesting drafts in their first matches in the last chance qualifier. Now that I think about it, it was actually not only the last chance qualifier. Even when you look at the games that they played within the group, they had some pretty cool drafts here. A lot of double support that we've seen in the tournament, as well as some teams that just went without a tank. Now, that's not really the norm. Those were more special drafts than anything else. But it's obviously a little bit curious to see whether or not Sweden will try and play something similar again. False dead for the Germans and the Haka. Double global for them. And we got Sylvanas and Rhaegar on the other side. So with Sylvanas, a heavy push possible. But then you have Falstad against you for not only the global control, but of course, in addition to that, also as a heavy auto attacker, he can do a lot here. So very, very strong start into the draft, I would say, for both teams. But specifically when you look at the German team, they locked in 2 of the globals. And Brightwing gets banned out, basically because Sweden is saying, you know what, we're just going to make sure that you can't jump with the entire team across the map. With the exception of Johanna, I guess. So that's not going to happen. And yeah, pretty spicy here. This is a good map to run globals, obviously. You need to control multiple points at the same time. So if you have heroes that can move from one side of the map to the other quickly, then this gives you a bit of leverage when you're trying to get the Dragonite in the objective. Now, final ban for our first map in the best of 5 series, and Deathwing is being banned out. So another hero that could actually have been used for his mobility, and Deathwing these days obviously is quite popular since he got buffed in the recent patches. And Germany shutting that down. Now, if Team Sweden still would like to react to some of it, they could have, well, taking Brightwing, not really, they already had Rhaegar, but they could still go into something like a Hunt Ilden Vikings. You know, to be fair, the options are rather slim at this point, and I don't think they're going to do it. But let's see if they're locking something in. ETC with the stage dive would be an option if they feel forced into it. Wooby is on Urel on the side lane, and super strong side laner, of course, for Dragonshire. And it is one of the best, if not the best hero for Wooby, or at least was in the days of HGC. So it's going to feel right at home here. I don't have Trixler with me for the goat facts today, so unfortunately we don't have any of those. And I actually think now that I'm putting some thought into it, that he dropped the ball the last time that we had at Wubi on Neural. I don't think we got any goat facts, so that's a little bit disappointing. Didn't even notice that at the time. I have to call him out when he's back on the channel here. We got Maiev and we get Malfurion, so we have a triple front line for the Germans. Malfurion for support and Falster. That's the only real range damage dealer. So auto attacks are gonna come galore, but there's a lot of CC now for Germany. So the red team coming into this with a pretty solid draft. For Dragonshire, we have for the blue team now as the final pick. I mean, we still need damage. Sylvanas alone is not going to be enough. They can go for triple frontline as well if they want to. But we get Hanzo, so Sylvanas and Hanzo for the blue team. Ladies and gentlemen, the last chance qualifier. We're in the semifinals, the best of 5 series. And we're starting things off with our first map between Sweden and Germany right here on Dragonshire. First game of the best of 5 series, and Sweden starts in blue on the left with Sven on ETC. The one hero that can technically try and go into a global at level 10 with a stage dive and mirror a little bit what Team Germany is currently doing. We got Captain Rex on Sylvanas, Azzy on Hanzo, Wubi is playing Urel for the blue team, and then Galne Gulnar on Rhaegar. Over on the right side, Shaq with Malfurion. Sereny on Maiev. We got the Evil on Dehaka. Athletic Bird is playing Falstad. Would be shocked to see anything else but Frequent Flyer here. And then we get Dexan on Johanna as the last pick here for Team Germany. So, the Bird's the word, and here's the Frequent Flyer. We're going to get auto attacks. ETC holding back for a second, but picking Guitar Hero afterwards. We're having a totem build from Rhaegar, and instantly a little bit of aggression coming through on the map as the teams collide in the middle. Game number 1 of the best of 5 series, and we need to get some fireworks here. Can Sweden make it? They're probably the favorite, at least if you're just looking at the name power, but here comes Germany! And with typical efficiency, they're jumping in and taking down Sylvanas, another tether as they're aiming for Wubi. Galne Gulnar might also be in trouble as the German team is just rolling over the mid lane. So, very nice approach here for them. They get first blood against Sylvanas and are taking a tiny lead in experience in just a moment. Wubi still on the way to the top lane, of course, and the Evil is gonna have his work cut out for him. Wubi is an absolute terrifying solo laner and is like one of the best, and when we're looking at Urel, that's obviously one of the strongest heroes, was at least back in the day. And he's been playing a little bit more lately, so I don't know how much time they currently use scrimming, but just the games he have played alone will already help him a bit with that. ETC sliding in as Sven is trying to help out. Siege Giants at the bottom of the map for only one team so far. Germany actually not going for their own, trying to lock that in a little bit later in the game. But we have a very, very fluid early game right now. Everybody is rotating between the lanes, looking for opportunities to maybe set somebody up, gank up on a hero, maybe invade a camp. There is more pressure at the top lane now against the blue team, thanks to the mercenary camp that was already claimed here. But the problem is that ETC is going for the channel, and somebody needs to recapture some of these altars. And it's Falstad at the top lane that is doing the deed. So Sweden lost control after seriously threatening the first objective of the game very early on. Now we got the Athletic Bird moving through the top, and this is making it a little bit more tricky for Wubi because now he has also the mercenary camp to deal with, and you can already tell that a lot of the towers here take huge amount of damage, and that makes things a bit tricky. Hanzo killed by the Germans, and now we have at the bottom of the map Dehaka starting to tunnel in. Apparently they're aiming for another kill. They get the Tong, the tether into the Tong, and Galne Gulnar is gone. Shock pausing the game as the Germans pause to quickly clap themselves on the shoulder a little bit, because that was a great start into the game. Should probably not celebrate things too early, but it might be that Johanna dropped out here. So they need to get her back into the game. But all things considered, 2.5 minutes in, Germany, it's looking pretty good. 3 kills to 0, and now they just have to make sure that they can carry that momentum into the mid and the late game. But Sweden is going to try and shut that down as quickly as they can. And Wubi, for example, is at the top lane, already taking control of the shrine. So, good start for the Germans, but we'll see how the Swedes respond to it. It didn't take too long for them to bring him back, so Johanna is in the game. And Germany is going to now try and simply keep doing what they're doing. They have a half-level lead. And they have obviously a lot of control. If you have Maiev on your side and you have that Condemn on Johanna, you get that drag from Dehaka, you have a lot of CC tools and they're using them over and over again. Hanzo just came back and he gets instantly slapped around in the mid lane. So that's another kill against Boboy. And he just doesn't make it. Falset is retaking control at the top, as he's now the one going up against Whoopi until Dehaka can take over again. He had quite the adventure, moving down to the bottom of the map and then getting also a kill in the middle with the rest of the team. And now they have full control over the altars. They're trying to make a move for Whoopi. Sven helping out, but no problem for the side laner. And here's Dragonite number 1 with a full control. They channeled in the middle, Maiev the one to take the Dragonite. And Sweden is losing some ground here. Yeah, minion wave is ready. They don't want to waste the Dragonite too quickly. Early on, not really too strong. It's all about you using the Dragon's Breath of cooldown as much as you can. And that's exactly what Maiev is currently trying to do. It just moves in, gets the Dragon's Breath connected, nice damage on structures. They're going to lose this thing, of course, eventually. But as long as they can attempt to at least break down the middle, they're going to be totally fine here. And it is going to cost Sweden a few structures. Nothing too crazy, but definitely one of the towers down and the rest fairly low here. Obviously, it also drew resources of the blue team towards the middle, which we're now missing in other areas. But Germany has nearly a 1-level lead. And to be completely frank with you, I think I mentioned it earlier, as we're heading into this, I thought that Team Germany would be the underdog here. Not a big underdog, but if you would have forced me to bet money on the series, I would have probably ended up on Team Sweden. But currently the Germans are doing very, very well. We got 49 stacks for Falstad, so he's very close to get the first quest reward and then the 20 additional attack damage. We have, of course, on level 7 for the Birdie now also Secret Weapon. We get some Gambit with a Feeding Frenzy for Dehaka. And they are just breaking through that bot lane. Taking that Mercenary camp helped them to set up a push where they ruthlessly moved in with 4 and started to take things. Now we have to fly towards the top from Falstad as he's starting to deal with the situation. The German team may be overstaying their welcome a bit at the bottom of the map, and I think this is going to be the first kill, yeah, for the blue team. So Johanna staying slightly too long and getting punished. Sweden lost a lot of ground there, but at least they walked away with their first kill. We have level 10 abilities, which now gives us also Tranquility, and of course we get the shield from Jojo. Plus shield for the stuns. But look at Sweden. Really nice move. They get 1 kill. They don't have level 10 abilities. But instantly, after getting the kill, they're moving over and they're taking the Siege Giants away from the red team. So they're absolutely capitalizing on this. And now ETC, as already suspected during the draft, has gone into stage dives. So trying to mirror the global movements a little bit that we are seeing from not only Dehaka but also Falstad. So reacting with their heroic choice straight up. We get Mind Control for Sylvanas and the Arrow from Hanzo, so some tools that we can also start to sync here. Azzy, thus far, had a bit of a rough game. He excelled absolutely in previous games here in the last chance qualifier. We saw him on Jim Raynor on a Battlefield game where he absolutely stacked out of his mind, and then later on even on Vala. But right now on Hanzo, having a tough early game and getting killed multiple times. And talking about getting killed, with a disc on Whoopi, there's an attempt to take Urel down, but no problem. Sweden moving away at the top lane, and now the reinforcements are streaming towards the lane, as we have Sven and Captain Rex maybe join in. But there is still a Mercenary camp, and also with the next objective being active, a Dragonite up for grabs that could be claimed if a team is able to establish top lane control. Dehaka is pushing the bottom of the map right now. Hanzo the only one to hold him at bay here, but the fort has by now taken some damage. And we are looking, all in all, at 14,000 damage for Maiev. Top damage dealer in the game. Falstad at 10k, but obviously right now a little bit more interested in getting the wave clear going to add more stacks to his level 1 quest. And then on the blue team side, we got 12,000 damage for Hanzo, as all of this starts playing out. Sireni sitting at the side, Sven with a slide, but yeah, I think everybody is just going to slowly walk away here. And top lane still will be doing pretty okay, having to deal with the range damage dealer though. 82 stacks for Falstad, so yes, he's waiting for the 150 now, but he has the extra damage on his auto attacks already, at least the first quest reward. And the game has started to slow down just a little bit. We have a half-level advantage for Germany. They have 4 kills to 1. They got the first Dragonite. Structurally, they broke through some walls, have damaged some forts, but not really all that much yet. They are a little bit in the lead though. Not by much. One good team fight for the blue team is all that they need in order to turn this around. And now we have level 13 kicking in just a tiny bit faster for the Germans. The question is simply if they can force anything with it. Maybe get a Dragon Knight, maybe get a push going. They're trying for a kill. The root too late. The root too late on the ground as we have the initial stun from Johanna with a Blessed Shield. Malfurion not in range, and that lets Azzy live. That could have been a kill. If they coordinate that a little bit better, if he was in range, this could have for sure been a kill. But now they're moving in the middle. Fantastic route this time. One kill against Rhaegar, and they're pushing for ETC. Aren't able to get the kill here. Whoopi assisting from the top as Malfurion drops Tranquility. But that was a fantastic trap set up by Germany. And now they have 5 kills to 1. Sweden struggling a bit here. Still absolutely in range, don't get me wrong, it's not like the Germans are walking away with the game here, but they're starting to get more and more kills. Great move at the top by Captain Rex that could have backfired. Whoopi surviving by barely popping his ult. But it is honestly Germany that is currently making the moves here. And it's the Swedes that are reacting more than anything else. So attacks are still coming. We have 96. Oh, there's the condemn! And the bird falls to Whoopi, but Sylvanas dies to Johanna. And at the bottom of the map, Maiev and Malfurion are both pushing. And there's a chance for a Dragonite as well. It's getting wild here. Sven is trying to defend as best as he can, but the fort already lost half of its HP. And things are starting to get a bit crazy in the game. 6 kills to 2, but now nearly 10 minutes in. And there's a lot of action going on. Lots of aggression from both of the teams. Quest on level 1, not completed yet, by the way, for Hanzo. It's sitting at 3 out of 5. So, yeah, again, as I said earlier, struggling a bit in game number 1. Maybe needs a good, strong coffee in order to get this all going. But now ETC at the bottom of the map. Ult still mostly available. The only exception is Whoopi is heroic, so he needs to be careful at the top as the Haka is looking for another lick. And the bird is coming in with extra damage, and the gust into a corner hits a few minions as well, or the towers would have helped out. Isolation, and the bird gets murdered. Great rotation by the blue team towards the top, and now 2 times in quick succession. Falstad was taken out, so that's really slowing down his progress as well on the stacks. 150 would be big. There's the mind control, and Sweden is slowly waking up here. A good root on the ground, and they kill against ETC. While Germany is still losing 2 of their heroes, they are able to put in a counter kill. So nicely done by them, and it's just a continuous back and forth right now. Love it. Fantastic. Great start into the best of 5. That's exactly what we expected from the semifinals here. Sylvanas with 128 stacks, so she needs the 250. But we are off to the races. If this is an indication of what's to come in the best of 5, then we're in for a treat. Azzy apparently saving the good ults for game number 2. Kappa. And top lane still Whoopi against the evil. Yeah, and that wall is slowly getting destroyed as well. So Germany is starting to lose some structures too. Down at the bottom of the map now, the full control, and this is actually not quite a chance for Whoopi to get a Dragonite because the Haka already reclaimed top. But here comes the jump. Rhaegar's in trouble, and Galnagulnar falls. They want the counter kill against Maiev, but she gets the disc out quickly. And here we have Malfurion healing everybody up, as even Urel started to join to help him out. But you can tell that Sweden is doing a nice job when it comes to experience. They have more XP through mercenary experience, and even a tiny lead in minion XP, even though that's kinda negligible. We have 4 kills to 8. And Germany, while ahead, is still not in a position where they're dominant or anything. Not a single fort has been taken out yet, and the experience gap is not that massive. But now they're taking Whoopi down, and he couldn't even use his ult here. So this was actually Germany just spot on with another play, and it's starting to become troublesome for Team Sweden. If you lose a few heroes in the early game, nobody really bats an eye. It's not that important. Death timers are low, and as long as you're scaling properly into the later stages, you're completely alright. But if you then start 10-15 minutes in, still losing most of the team fights, then it becomes a lot more impactful since the death timers are increasing heavily. Nice disengage here. Maiev jumped in deep, maybe too deep. Is about to get Hanzo'd, and there it is. The kill is there, and Maiev goes down. Great move by Sweden. Fantastic defense by them, honestly. That was really well done. That was a great push by Germany, super strong, well set up, and Sweden reacted properly to it. Had a little bit of luck, you could argue, at some points as well, but they played well around Maiev jumping back in. Obviously, Serenity thought that they had a kill, but with that not materializing, then we instantly had the counter from Sweden, and they were able to take one down. So now it's a 4 versus 5 on the map. And Sweden is threatening the Dragonite. Germany has been doing well all game, but this is a tricky position for them to be in. They're losing hit points at the top side fort. Falstead retook the shrine and has now to disengage. And we're already seeing ETC ready and good to go. So they have to interrupt this a few more times, which is exactly what they're doing here. Bit of extra damage against Sven. Ancestral, yes, better safe than sorry. Maiev is back. Jojo has now taken the bottom of the map, but they still pressured the top side fort. It could be that the first structure that falls will be on the side of Germany. Falstead very, very close now also to a second quest reward, which would be super important to threaten ETC and also Urel a little bit more. So he needs another 5 stacks, and then he has a second quest reward and the added auto attack damage that comes with it. So talk about scaling the late game. This would be one way to do it. And he's right there. So at this point, Falstead picking up another 50 attack damage. Mythic reward, yeah, if the birdie is really going to be able to get to that point, that's a very different question. But at least with what they have here, they should be able to do a lot. Down at the bottom of the map, Deaka, he should be able to get out, but the blue team needs to react to what's happening in the top lane. That's the real problem right now. The disc and the root on ETC, can they take Sven? Is the cooldown ready? And Sven slides out. Was already mid-slide apparently here. But the attack is still going to hurt. Now the blue team is responding with a big attack themselves, and they get the Haka and can now with Sylvanas easily go for the bottom fort. And this is of course also going to give her a lot of stacks on her baseline. Level 20 talents, Sweden has taken the lead in experience, but this is the first time that we see a fort fall. When teams hit level 20, that's when we see the first 2 falls being destroyed. Sylvanas now at the 250 stacks that she needs for her first quest reward right here. So now a little bit of bonus damage from her. We still have... Oh, yeah, Dark Lady's Call being used here. Gets lost. We got Crowd Pleaser for ETC. And of course now both of the teams with level 20 talents. But the Dragonite threatened in the middle, and there it is. Sylvanas gets it. The arrow. Zoning arrow. Missing everybody on the red team, but a couple of the boys are fairly low. And there's the Dragonite jumping in deep. Falstead instantly starting to counter-attack and try to burn it down. But Sweden has now, for the first time in the game, some serious momentum. It was Germany the entire time that were able to get the kills when they set up their pushers. But now it is the blue team that is making the moves here with their first objective that they were able to claim 15 minutes in. It's a spicy start into the series. It's a really spicy start here. Damage-wise, we have 41,000 for Maiev, doing absolutely fantastic. Hanzo with 55,000 is the top damage dealer in the game. And of course, with Falstead now getting a second quest reward, we can expect more and more damage coming in from him as well. I suppose here the focus is now slowly starting to shift towards him auto-attacking in the team fights and participating way more in the big battles. Dragonite, they got the fort in the middle, so structurally Sweden has now also pulled ahead. But they want Sylvanas from the looks of it. Yeah, that Dragonite is not too quick. So here comes the play for Sylvanas, and she's fine. You could already see Daxon on Johanna attempt to move in, which didn't really work out. I mean, again, the idea was to hit a Blessed Shield, of course, but couldn't make that happen. Falstead at nearly 200 stacks, so still continuing the stacking process. It's a little bit easier and faster for him now with the added auto attack damage too. But there is still a chance that we're going to the mythical reward with him. That would be, I don't want to say disastrous for Sweden, but it would make the life of the entire front line so much more troublesome. Dehaka, uh-oh. It's the trap, baby! And somebody's, oh my god! Dark Lady's Call is barely missing, but evil? No way. No way! Tell me again that this guy does not have evil powers. Ridiculous! He's able to tunnel out. No more CC left on the blue team. And he is able to get away. Wow. That was something. Oh god, that is Jojo having a huge problem. And yeah, no freaking way. Oh, Whoopi pancaking Johanna. The hit from the right comes in from the top and then bam, takes him out. Guys, first we had the escape of the Haka. Now look at this. Johanna had at some point, I think, 7 HP. And then when you think she's safe, Whoopi comes in and bam! Hooves first. We have the space goat going straight for Johanna and just flattening her. Insane. 7 kills to 9 now. And look at Sweden. After struggling initially, they're now taking control here. They're stealing the camps away, and you just have to look at the minimap to realize that they're essentially controlling the entire map. Only a small part over on the right side is still maintained by Team Germany. And they need to get some kills. It's been a while since they were able to get any. So Falstad is defending it against the camps at the top. The bird's still in play here. Falstad, I mean, the only one that hasn't died yet in the entire game is, by the way, Malfurion. Malfurion has not fallen even once, so he's still super solid. But here comes the next Dragon Knight. Total freebie for the Swedish team. ETC in it. And now, of course, the question on how they're going to deal with this. Falstad died twice. Maiev only once. Team's on level 22, roughly. And here comes the attack straight through the bottom of the map. So, here's the opportunity. Here's the moment for Sweden to maybe start taking down the hit points on a keep, and who knows, 20 minutes in, they might even be able to take one. There's a bit of a flank attempt already happening. Urel losing some hit points. They are jumping in. They were actually trying to dive the backline, but couldn't. The arrow again missing. I don't know if Azzy actually connected a lot of arrows in this game. One hit Johanna earlier, but I think that might have been it even. Falstad instantly moving back out. Don't forget that he still has his mythic reward, and he is now 65. Uh-oh, they're flying and gusting. Fly and gust into the corner with the wind tunnel, trying to set this up. The tether on Azzy, everything on him, but they can't kill him. He's still alive. In comes the move by Sven as they're jumping out. They gotta retreat here. Germany tried to force a fight in the corner. They attempted to follow up on it, and it didn't work out. They still have to deal with that top lane pressure as well. The gate and wall are still standing, so this is buying some time. But, whoa. Germany taking a bit of a risk here, and it could have paid off. But, at that point, it started to get tricky. 250 stacks now for Falstad. 50 stacks is definitely manageable. He could get to his mythic reward, and then the auto attack damage is going to be so much higher. And you just look at the damage output of Falstad. He already caught up a lot after getting his second quest reward. He's at 43,000 now. So, given the previous gap between Maiev and Falstad in regards to damage, he is starting to get there. And it is highly likely, given how this game is currently going, that we will see Falstad with a fully completed level 1 quest. A bit cautious here. Just staying at the top. But they don't have any vision. So without vision, Falstad isn't willing to make any plays here. So playing this really slow. Blue team is at the bottom of the map. They don't know that right now. So, yeah, here's the play. And they don't want to engage too heavily on this. So now we have him closing in on 270 stacks. He could have actually taken the entire lane. And now that the camp was claimed at the bot lane, they know that he has a little bit more freedom. So he instantly moved in to take a few more minions down. But, those siege giants, they might have to let them go. Blue team is here with nearly everyone. Double camp at the bottom of the map already, so Germany is trying to at least get this one. And they still gotta defend their bottom keep. So far, things are still pretty alright. The difference between the teams and structures isn't that great. It's like 2 forts. That's basically the difference right now. And one of those forts at the bottom is insanely low. Here comes the attack against the Haka again. Nice move by Sylvanas. But I keep repeating myself here. Falstad will lock in his reward. That's another 125 attack damage. So that is a huge reward. This is big single target damage. Germany should maybe try and play this a little bit slow now that they've taken the fort out. Because, again, this is a big milestone. Falstad is going to get it. Just get him to the top lane and he's going to be fine. But there's no reason to force any fights beforehand as long as the Dragon Knight is not being threatened. So as long as the bird just makes it towards a couple of minion waves, they're going to be completely okay here. And this is something that I would certainly wait for, considering how much of an impact it can actually have. As long as they keep Falstad alive in those fights. Yeah, top lane, as already mentioned, all that the birdie has to do, catch one more minion wave, and that's essentially it. And here we are. So those 7 stacks should come together right here, right now. And then it's going to be heavy auto attacks by Falstad. So quest completed, and it's party time, I'd say. Now Germany should feel a little bit more confident with all of this. This is as well as they're going to scale here. There's a couple more quests that can be completed. The level 4 of Johanna, if they ever have a chance, might be able to complete it during a big team fight, but it's not really the most crucial thing. Don't forget that Sylvanas obviously also still has her mythic reward for an enormous amount of sustain that she can get with this. So this is another one that could come true later on. But this is quite the game. 23 minutes in, and we are only in game number 1 of the series. So more pressure from Sweden now, as they again have double control. Maiev is shutting that down, bot lane. And everybody is playing this much, much slower now. Both of the teams are fully aware that death timers are brutal at this point. And that, of course, any team fight where they're not fully present with the entire team could be crazy. So, we'll see. All of a sudden, in the mid lane, the entire team ready. And, yeah, Germany has more control. They also have the 2 globals. Let's not forget about this. Germany has 2 globals. Tranquility popped very early. They expected a full engage here. That didn't happen. So, Tranquility being used by Shock maybe a little bit too soon. ETC jumps in. They want the Haka. The Tong is there. Where's the team when you need it? The Evil. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Yeah, Blessed Shield. And here come the auto attacks. Look at Sven just disappearing. Sven is losing everything. Even with the Ancestral from Rhaegar. That's the kill right there. Huge. Absolutely huge. This is what we talked about the entire time. The auto attack damage that Falstad is able to get out once he has his mythic reward. And you could see it right there. Counter kills against Maiev and against Johanna now. But there was absolutely no way. ETC gets rooted into the ground. Falstad locks in the damage. And there was nothing to be done for Sweden. They got an Ancestral out from Rhaegar. They got a heal out. And it just did not matter. So right now, the chance for Germany. 8 kills to 11. Sweden needs to be careful at the top. Azzy's in trouble. Jumps out. Sereni tries to take, but here comes the mind control. And Maiev overstepped. Fantastic rotation by Sweden. Well done. And that shuts down any ambitions of a Dragon Knight that Germany had. Sweden with a great play. Assisting Hansa at the top. Hansa essentially being used as bait here. And he is obviously a professional master baiter, so he did really well, and the opponent fell completely for it. And then with Sylvanas and with Rhaegar moving in, and Sylvanas just perfectly hitting her ult, there was no chance anymore for Maiev. So nicely done. 11 kills to 9, 25 on the board on the levels, and yeah, we're off to the races with this. 100,000 damage now nearly for Hanzo. 180,000 siege damage for him. Falstad starting to draw even with Maiev. And still this ring around the rosy play where the 2 teams are trying to go for control. The interesting part, on the other hand, is also that I think we could even see a bit more presence on the map from Germany. They have 2 globals. There's only ATC against this. So it's pretty crazy that Sweden is able to match it this well. And you can just tell how much good experience we have on the blue team. They get another Dragon Knight here against a team that runs 2 globals. So really, really nicely done by Sweden. Fantastic performance by them. Just only with the stage dive that we get from ETC, and they're able to pull this off. Now we're 26 minutes into the game, and this Dragon Knight is going to hit like a truck. Side attack, good flank control from Bubi. The Haka is moving out, the slide, and even the bullseye. Couldn't do anything about it. But they are still attempting to defend against the decay as best as they can. And right now, they're doing good damage here. Their keep is still not under tons of pressure. So maybe Sweden can take it out. But given how things are currently going, I don't think they can go for the core. Always, of course, assuming that we're not seeing the entire German team fall here. But Sweden is patiently poking. 350 stacks for Sylvanas. The arrow missing again! Azzy is not having a good game today. From all the arrows that he threw out, how many have hit? 10%? 20%? If so? So yeah, having a bit of a tough one here. Oh, but then the Blessed Shield also not connecting with anything. Another cooldown burned. The Dragon Knight down to 15% though, so they are not getting a lot here. Maiev is sitting in the middle. Falstad with damage, but he is one of the prime targets now. Yeah. Dragon's Breath, Dragon's Breath, Dragon's Breath. Baited in a little bit. Baited in and taking even more hits here. But they are starting to get that keep low. The Haka can move in from the side again. Wubi is protecting the flank, as we already said. But very, very nice damage on the defense from Germany. Sweden, of course, they don't want to commit too heavily. This is the problem. When you're pushing in here, you need to protect your flank the entire time. If your opponent gets a hit and a kill, then you're just absolutely murdered. Now, though, the play at the bottom of the map. The Haka's already there, trying to go for Falstad. Wind tunnel into the corner. Ancestral and Hanzo still dies. Hanzo dies, and now they have a chance at going for Sven. This might be the play for Germany. They steal the camp away from the Swedes. They have Hanzo and they have ET-Seer. This is the moment. Double kill for the Germans, and now the move through the bottom of the map. The Haka already there. They want the Siege Giants as well. They want to have the double camp push through the bot lane, and Sweden is down to 3 players that somehow need to defend here. They're trying to establish a bit of top lane control so that they can potentially threaten the keep here, but Germany is pushing. Germany is going. That was a pretty massive gust that we saw at the bot lane, and they're capitalizing on it completely. There's still a fort standing in the middle, but Germany is trying to go for game. They got another 20 seconds until Hanzo is back, and now it's the game for the core right here. The keep is already gone. Germany wants the victory in game number 1 on Dragonshire, and they're making the play. There's nothing that Sweden can do. The gust again used. Mighty Gust is out there, but the core is already down to 50%, and Germany's going to go for it. Right-clicking the core, and this is game. Germany with a potential upset in the series as they take victory in game number 1 against Team Sweden. GG. I hope all of you are enjoying the Nations Cup, especially now that we're going into the top games here just after the group stage. Guys, a quick reminder, we're keeping Heroes Esports alive. We've done so for the last 7 years, ever since Blizzard abandoned HGC in the esports scene. But in order to do that, we're also dependent on support and on campaigns like the one we're currently running with Opera GX. And this is one of the easiest campaigns ever, and it is completely free. So if you enjoy the coverage here, if you would like us to host more events like the one you're currently watching, or Meta Madness and the Banshee Cup, all the other tournaments that we've been hosting, then please check the description of the video. All that you gotta do is download Opera GX, which is a browser, and simply watch 1 or 2 YouTube videos on the browser, maybe use it for some general browsing, and that would already help us. Don't like it? No problem, can uninstall it afterwards, but it really would go a long way to support us here on the channel and to help us create more events in the future. So take that 1-2 minutes that you need in order to do that and help us out. Thank you very, very much in advance, and a big shout out to all of you that already have done it. Enjoy the rest of the series. Team Germany takes victory in game number 1, maybe causing a little bit of an upset here even. I certainly did not expect the Germans to come out with a lead in the series. Sweden, I mean, honestly, it was a great game. It was super close, could have gone either way, but the last fight was pretty fantastic. And again, Falstad, of course, playing a huge role here also with all of the auto attack damage. We saw it against ETC, we saw it against some of the other heroes. And since we still have our draft restriction, it means that all of the heroes that were played on the first map cannot be played again. So these are tools that Germany cannot use anymore. And just generally speaking, when you're looking over to the blue team, they certainly have the more experienced players, and they have also players that were in the scene for such a long time that you would just expect their hero pools to be very, very deep. So as the series progresses, this might actually favor the Swedish team. But it still doesn't change the fact that Germany caused a bit of an upset in game number 1 and took the victory. So the second seed for the Germans with a win on Dragonshire. Now that we're heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's of course a question, how exactly are the Swedes going to react here? A lot of the typical picks that we're seeing on Tomb of the Spider Queen are by now obviously gone. So in this case, you don't have Johanna anymore. There's also no Hanzo any longer, which might actually be better for Sweden. I'm ripping a little bit too much into Azzy here. He walked away with tons of damage anyways, but the arrows were, yeah, not really on point, let's put it like that. I liked him a lot more when we had him yesterday on some of the auto attackers. Today, game 1 just seemed a little bit off. Certainly not reflecting how well he usually plays, so we'll just shrug that off as a bit of a warm-up for him. Who knows, maybe he just crawled out of bed, had a big party yesterday, and this was his first game of the day. So now that we're warmed up, let's see what he's going to pull off in game number 2 and also what hero we're going to get for him. We still have that ban on Thrall that we saw in game number 1 as well from Germany. It was actually map choice by the Germans. Ooh, Anduin first pick. Yeah, well, if Germany doesn't take Genji immediately, this could be a Genji follow-up on the 2-3 for Sweden. Ban's obviously not possible there anymore, but the light bomb engage with Anduin is an option. So this might be something that they're trying to use here. And Germany has to think about, okay, are we going to pick Genji? Are we intimidated by that? Do we not care? Do we just gamble and see if they actually take Genji, or how are we playing this? And they let Genji go. They let Genji go. They're going in with Junkrat and with Leoric. And if the Swedes now want to have a light bomb engage with a swift strike, they can go for that combo. Certainly have the players to pull it off. Could use it against Junkrat, of course. Anduin also very strong against Leoric in general. It's one of the annoying things with Leoric's ult that whenever you're starting to drop it and Anduin is nearby, he usually has an easy time pulling the target out of the entomb. So at level 20, you're trying to aim for Anduin himself. And there's Azzy with Vala now. Okay, so now comes our auto attack style. And Whoopi has played Zul already on this map. It's a little bit similar to what they've done against the French team in the first round of the last chance qualifier in the quarterfinals. So now we have Anduin, Vala, and Zul. With Anduin, you have a really nice tool to save Vala whenever you can. And the ban against Medivh does not come as a surprise, considering that this would be a very nice option for the blue team to try and shield Vala even further. But Azzy can definitely now start dance around opponents a bit, work those auto attacks in. And we'll see how Germany deals with it. Hanzo wasn't really that big of a problem for them, but we'll see. They ban the tanks against the Germans. Great move. But I think Germany actually played already. They played Sergeant Hammer, right? In their quarter-final match, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. But again, let's see what they're going to play here. We got Leo, we got Junkrat. So you can already create a lot of space with the two of them. Leo at the bot lane, going up against Zul. Ooh, and then we get Garrosh and Brightwing. That's a lot of displacement there. Who are they going to go for as their final choice? If they get to Vala, she's toast. If you get flipped by Garrosh and then Brightwing follows up, oof, you are basically done for. That's going to be a poly. And then I need a really quick pull from Anduin. Oh, that's a kill. But for the Swedes, the Swedish team, now that they have to try and draw even, you've just lost on Dragonshire. And here for game number 2, we get D.Va and Deathwing. Alright, that is quite the front line. Zul, D.Va, and Deathwing as the front line to protect Vala now. Alright, I am absolutely here for it. So yeah, we're going to have a fun one on our hands for sure. I talked in the first draft a little bit about the drafts that we've seen so far from Team Sweden, and that I would expect some shenanigans for them as well. And I guess here we are. Orphea as the final pick for Team Germany, and with that we're off to the races. Game number 2, everybody. Can Germany pull ahead with a 2-0, or is Sweden now starting to bring it back in this best-of-5 series here at the semi-final of the last chance qualifier? Let's jump in and find out. Second game in the best-of-5 series. Sven on the left with Zul. Whoopi is the one that switched over into D.Va for the blue team. And we got Captain Rax on Deathwing. Galnigulna with Anduin, trying to keep Vala safe. Played by Azzy here, going into Creed of the Hunter, as you would expect, all auto-attack style for the blue team. As over on the right side, we got Sereni on Orphea after playing Maiev in the previous game. The Athletic Bird from Falstad to Junkrat. We got Shuck on Brightwing, Dexan on Garrosh, and the Evil on Leoric with Fealty on 2 Death on level 1. So let the games begin, and let's see how this one plays out. So this is going to be the big question right there, especially of course looking at Vala and how exactly Azzy is going to do here. Spray game, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. So, me likey, at least we're going away from the standard spray, so that's already a win. When we're talking Orphea, we got the Ancestral Strength on level 1. And Leoric is already sitting down at the bottom of the map, so it's just like chilling out on this one. Camps are instantly being taken, and that's going to be the focus for the teams early on. Also, a little bit of a reminder, specifically also for the YouTube crew out there, guys, keep in mind that the channel you can actually also join as member. This thing has been activated. And YouTube members, not only do you support the stream and the channel, but also you get the videos a bit earlier than everybody else. And in addition to that, there's going to be some more exclusive content that you're going to get there too. And again, you can always throw ideas out if you want to see something specific there for YouTube members or not. But outside of that, there will be a couple of occasional videos that are going to be exclusive for YouTube members too. And if you just want to support the channel, that's also a great way to do it. So you always find that join button below the video player. As in the game, we might have our first kill. Damn, look at that. Oof. Quick kill against Zul. Nicely done by Leoric. Oi, oi, oi. That was a bit early for first blood here. But he completely got murdered by the evil. So well done by Leoric. And a bit of a setback early on for the Swedish team. Now, as I've explained 100 times already, if you lose anybody early on, it's honestly not that big of a deal outside of you losing a little bit of control in the game for a short period, but the death timers are so low that it's not the biggest issue. And that's something that Garrosh at this point can also try and take some solace in, because he is the second one to fall. There's a lot of damage that has been done against the structures in the mid lane, so I would all in all still call this a success for Team Germany. But the Swedes now on their move towards the top, and with the help of Zul trying to target Orphea. So Sereni is starting to jump out here, and is starting to hit hard. Oh, Azzy, yeah, makes it out, but again, the threat is there, and Azzy is only sitting at 13 stacks currently. Has to be careful that he doesn't die. And you gotta be careful against Orphea. She slaps hard. That little coffin there is super heavy. It doesn't look it, but that coffin is essentially... I mean, it contains all of the hopes and dreams for esports that the professional player base had. And when Blizzard abandoned us all, that's where they got put. So this thing is heavy as hell. There's a lot of blood and tears that are put into it. So if you get hit by that, that is chunking down your hit points super quickly. So you gotta be careful on this one. Sereni just like slapping with one Shadow Waltz after another. As we have Sven moving in. Yeah, and Junkrat becomes the target, but he's already way too far out. Leo is going to get a lot of drain damage in this game. There's a lot of targets that he has for good drains, especially, of course, against someone like Deathwing. So he's going to get them very quickly, and there we go. Okay, so down at the bottom of the map, we have still Wooby with 20 stacks. We got 13 on Sereni. Captain Rex, they're all guarding the turn-in points. We have 8 to 11 on the turn-in currently with gems. And Vala is still working it. I mean, Vala needs to stay away from Garrosh as best as she can, and it's just vaulting away. But level 7 talents kicking a bit faster for Team Sweden. Vala with level 7 talents now, that also allows her, of course, to dance around opponents a little bit faster with the Hot Pursuit being available for her. Blue team is doing a little bit better on the turn-in, so they could actually try and get themselves the first objective. Germany is chasing heroes here. Specifically looking for Sven. They already dropped him once, and they still have hopes that they can eliminate him once more. Gems aplenty for both of the teams, so we actually have enough for both teams to get themselves the first Web Weaver wave. It's just a question of who's going to be able to come in and get the turn-in completed. And Vala, for example, is now delivering another 3. And that's enough to get the blue team the Web Weavers. I actually needed only 1 because the rest was turned in at the bot lane. So it is Sweden that gets the first spiders on the ground, whereas Germany will have to defend now. Deathwing, again, active in the middle. Deathwing has become an absolute monster. So Captain Rex, just with that black Deathwing skin as well, love it. Azzy, a bit low, survived though. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. If it's close, but you make it, still a win. And they are burning through this quickly. But yeah, I'm actually very pleased that we are seeing the Black Deathwing skin here, because honestly, if you go for that skin and you just go full turkey, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's one of the worst skins in the entire game, in my opinion. So this one is actually really nice. The Jade Dragon, of course, is cool too. But yeah, anyways. So with this, we're now having down at the bottom of the map, we got Leoric doing his thing, taking down the Web Weavers, very quickly taken. And then in the middle of the map, yeah, the defense is basically all done with as well. So Germany has defended against the Web Weavers without losing too much. A couple of the walls and gates have been destroyed. Not a single fort has been eliminated though, which is at the end of the day really what you're attempting to avoid. Now that we're moving towards level 10, the teams are going to have way more tools in their tool belt to try and get those kills. Because up to now, it's just those 2 isolated kills that we saw against Garrosh and against Zul earlier. So we'll see how it starts out from here. There's one camp already taken. Evil at the bot lane, not going for the Siege Giants, so they are still in. But the red team is now going to turn in. Red team is going to get the turn in here. So level 10 available, and off we go. We get on 10 Eternal Feast. Leo gets attacked at the bot lane, still able to move up, actually walks in for the camp. They're trying to fight this, but the Evil is here way too long, is willing to die for this, and here comes Orphea with the damage. That was actually not too shabby, but they are about to lose the next hero. They get the Siege Giants, but they lose 3 heroes in total. Leo will be back in moments. Gems on the ground from both teams, and this was all a bit of an awkward process. I love the combo with the Great Entomb from Leo straight into Orphea's ult, but they didn't get a single counter kill, so this made everything very awkward here. Siege Giants at the bot lane, the blue team obviously moved down to the bottom of the map as well, so some of the web weavers had an easy start against structures, and especially in the middle this is doing lots of damage. But Vala is working at the top and is taking this out without any problems. It's more so the bot lane where we're seeing the fight come in. Whoopi saved, oof, barely, but he makes it. They take the mech down, but they can't kill the pilot. Now they go for Captain Rex, though, and that is bye-bye Deathwing, and of course all of the gems that he's been holding. The Entomb missing, and then on top of it, they're still pushing for the fort. So, despite the fact that they lost 3 heroes at the bot fight over the Siege Giants, this wasn't really a complete loss for Team Germany. They are ahead in structures compared to Sweden, and they're still pushing here. As he is in some trouble, Vala has to move out. They go for the pilot. Whoopi is gone, and some of the gems might not be recovered. They're trying again for Vala, and she's sitting in the corner right now. Also eliminated. Sven at least picked up the gems at the bottom, but those at the top here in the corner will be lost. So that is Vala losing one of her Gambit stacks. It's Germany still pushing, and they're coming straight in for another potential kill. Deathwing thankfully helping out immediately, and that leaves Garrosh fully exposed. Brightwing with an attempt at save, and he actually makes it. Insanity! So, as the dust settles, we have a small lead for Team Germany. Vala lost a Gambit stack on her level 1. The fort at the bot lane on the blue team has taken some serious damage, and Germany is again looking pretty strong here. Now, are they fully in control right now? Not really, but they are taking a small lead, and they're even able to take the opponent's fort apart. When we're talking gems, it's roughly the same amount, but the red team has already solidified a few of theirs. They need to keep track of Zul. He has 43. If they can take him down, or at least prevent him from turning in, that would be stellar. But now they're going for Anduin. The slows, the crybaby on the run. And he gets away. Nice play by Deathwing, saving the day for them. There comes the explosion. Vala is also still alive, but damn. These two teams are on absolute eye level. This is crazy stuff here. Game 1, Game 2. Both of them super close from start to finish from the looks of it. But yeah, this is looking solid. Germany hoping to get that 2-0 lead, as we have Deathwing now with 21,000 damage. And Orphea, a little schoolgirl here, with 33,000. Yeah, she's a meanie. Serenia's turned in. 43 gems turned in for the blue team, and 36 for Team Germany. Now, middle of the map. Attack continues. Leo's helping out Orphea, the bot lane. Vala has now 89 stacks, so the first quest reward for the auto attack is done. Working to complete the second one. Yeah, both teams on level 14. The Siege Giants at the bottom of the map have already been locked in. Vala has been doing some damage at the top and has escorted some of the minion waves even further. And Galnagulnar gets the turn in, so here is the next web weaver wave, and it's again the blue team that grabs it. Take the lead on the objective. Leo needs to be careful as they're now rotating down. 17 gems, yeah, and easy times for the Evil. Takes some damage here, but is able to make it towards the gate, no problem. Now, this is going to be the interesting one for Team Sweden, especially when we're looking at the top lane where the fort is down to 50% of its HP. I don't think that Germany can hold this, and Sweden should try to push that lane and make sure that they're taking that fort out. This is going to be the easier lane to take for them. Leo is defending at the bottom of the map. Deathwing trying to push in the middle. But so far the defense is holding. So far Germany is doing what they can to save the big structures. The top lane, though, I would be shocked if they can hold that fort. That would be just nuts. Yeah, it's way too low already, and there's the play. Sweden is able to move in and take it out. Let's face it, it would have been absolutely embarrassing for the blue team if they weren't able to take this one. Nothing else has been destroyed, though. Bot lane, mid lane, both still standing. And even though they're trying to do some damage here, the red team is ready. It's now trying to push this back. So here comes the flip on Whoopi. Instantly a reaction from Zul as well. And Deathwing drained again. Has to jump out here. Big damage. And that's a kill. Deathwing is gone. Beautiful kill by Leoric in particular. So nicely coordinated from Germany. And they take down Deathwing. So this was a fantastic move. He just had the cooldown ready. Once Deathwing moved in, bam, there's the Entomb, gets the full drain out. The rest of the team chips in too, and Deathwing gets murdered. Absolutely destroyed. That's an early level 16 for Team Germany. 4 kills to 6 in their favor. And yeah, they're looking very strong here. Leo at 30,000 damage, 40,000 for Ophia. Vala at 30k. And now it's time for the red team to show what they can do with their second Web Weaver phase. Now there's Cams pushing in the middle, lots of wave clear being used instantly. Oh, Ophia! Whoa! They really wanted her, didn't they? So here comes Deathwing. Boy, Team Sweden, look how aggro they are in the middle. They are really going at it. They got a numbers advantage as well because Junkrat wasn't here. But they wanted that kill and they couldn't get it. Leo with another big drain and big damage. Ophia still alive. Sweden was looking for a quick kill and just couldn't get it. That would have been amazing for them if they took a hero down at this moment. But now we have Zul at the bottom of the map, Diva at the top, which means the fort in the middle is exposed. And Germany is again going to pull ahead in structures. They're taking the fort out in the mid lane. Now the rotation towards the top as they are hoping for more. The Web Weaver here already defeated, but they want to get the wall at a minimum. Yeah, and Zul is still sitting at the bottom of the map. He had to take out the Web Weavers here. Sven did a great job on it, but topside, that wall therefore destroyed. So for Germany, that means a half-level lead, and structurally, they've taken an advantage, which, of course, is also in turn now increasing their passive experience gains. Leo with the Mithril Mace. 32 stacks for him now. Garrosh, yeah, they kind of body blocked him hard, but he's going to be fine. And yeah, they're breaking this quickly. So, Ophia takes another camp at the bottom of the map. Germany is doing a pretty decent job when it comes to general camp control and also the macro game. When we're looking at mercenaries, they have had the upper hand on specifically the Siege Giant camp at the bottom of the map. And since the fight is now centered mostly around the turning point at the top, those Siege Giants at the bot lane are going to do some damage. The longer the fight lasts here. The battle, on the other hand, turns in favor of Sweden. In comes the kill on not only Leo, but Brightwing falls too. Double kill for Sweden. They're trying to heavily pull ahead here, attempting to go for Garrosh, who might also fall, but they have a lot of gems that they were able to hold here. Garrosh is still alive. Garrosh is still alive. Whoopi loses the mech as Sweden pulls ahead in experience, but we got Siege Giants and Catapults now at the bottom of the map. Not really a problem for Sweden, though. Sven is there just in time as the next minion wave arrives, or this could have become an issue. Leo goes towards the boss and makes sure that the blue team is not trying to get a sneaky boss, but there is going to be a turn-in attempt from Sweden, as we have Galnagulnan as... Oh my god! Whoopi gets nearly slapped into oblivion here and barely survives, but I suppose this is going to be a completed turn-in regardless. Yeah, Diva makes it. And off we go. There we have it. Blue team with the Web Weavers. This is the third turn-in for Sweden. Germany had 2. Germany is getting a little bit more out of their turn-ins. They're structurally ahead. But Sweden is always the first team to get the next turn-in. And I guess in this case it means that they will destroy the fort in the middle. Question is, of course, then still what's happening at the bottom of the map. Is Leo able to hold it, or will Sweden just take 2 of those now? It's a very cool game. 6 kills to 6, equal experience. Structurally, not that big of a difference either. 150 stacks now for Vala, so a third quest reward has just been unlocked. And Vala only died once, and the damage is really coming together for her. With Manticore on level 16 now, you can see that especially Garrosh is having a tougher and tougher time popping up at the top. So now we're having an insta-kill on that fort, and they're rotating down to the bottom of the map, trying to get this one too. Evil had to ghost back out. Junkrat is still dealing with the top lane, and Germany is basically saying, well, take the fort. Giving this up from the looks of it. Junkrat isn't here. Well, Germany is fighting for it, but they gotta be very careful here. They are the numbers disadvantage, and they know it, so they can't dive in too deep. Good damage, great damage actually they were getting from Orphea, but Brightwing gets killed. Nice move with Inner Fire, well, with the Light Bomb. D.Va Light Bomb engage. That was pretty sexy, and they get 3 kills out of it. So Sweden with a banging play and level 20. But look at this. Light Bomb on D.Va, and then the boost straight in, and all of a sudden they can lead this to a kill. There. Perfect stun against 2. Brightwing gets killed as a result, and then they follow it up with 2 more. So now there's an opportunity for Sweden to just use all the momentum in the world and go straight in for the keep. They've already destroyed all the forts now, and they have a level 20 advantage. And if you look at Germany, they're still missing 3 of their heroes. Easy keep for Sweden. Germany was looking great until they didn't anymore. And now Sweden took down the keep, and they're going straight in for the core. They got another 10 seconds before Germany is getting their heroes back. And even if they can't take the entire core down, they will certainly be able to damage it significantly. So this is going to hurt. Can Germany defend here? Entomb out. Brightwing with a save. Core at 88%. D.Va explosion. They're trying to force the blue team back and save the game for now, but the evil dies. So that's Leo gone. They go for Deathwing and get the counter kill. 70% of the core, and it seems like Sweden will have to back off here. Once again, it is Orphea with tons of damage, but also gets heavily targeted. They slap Whoopi, take him down. That's gems lost as well, and the rest of the team is on the run. Gets slowed by Leoric. Leo with a slow. Anduin with a rescue as Vala was about to die, but at least Zul is not out of this yet. Gets slowed again, and Galne Gulnar is just ruining everybody's fun here as he comes in with another quick pull. Leo is trying to close in, gets another slow connected, but at this point in time, the team is already on the move back out. And of course, the only thing that Germany can do, the only thing that makes sense, is to go for the boss at the top lane. They don't have enough gems to get a full turn in, so they come in at the top lane boss and try to take that. 18 minutes into the game, this bad boy is going to hit hard, and he's going to take at a minimum the fort out. But there's not enough gems for a turn-in, so the follow-up there is not going to be that easy. We have Vala now at the bottom of the map. The Evil also sitting tight. He's going to be the one that has to try and defend. And, well, Germany just bought themselves a little bit more time, and they bought themselves a fort at the top lane. Would be a bit surprised if this could be saved. If it is... Nah, no. Even if it is, it's going to have a hit point or 2. But, yeah, that fort is going to fall. But the problem is that 30% of the core is now missing. So Sweden has done pretty alright with that push. Germany turned their gems in, and they are willing to commit to the top lane push here. So after we've had the fort destroyed, they're still having hopes to, I would say, take down the wall. Maybe a little bit more here. Hazzy, damn, the damage. Yeah, Vala is of course a big problem. With Farflight Quiver now too, always at a safe distance. But the boss takes out the fort, takes out the wall. Might get a hit in on the keep too. 10 kills to 8 all in all. And Vala is sitting at 222 stacks, which means that she has now 4% increased damage on her auto attacks. And can work it up to 5 and then 6 if this game continues. We're now 20 minutes deep into it. On level 20 we got Destroyer's Rampage for Deathwing. We have also Stop and Pop for D.Va. And now it's more about the mercenary camps and the turn-ins, since Germany has enough resources to get another Web Weaver wave. 77,000 damage now for Orphea. Sereni is crushing it on this hero. Vala is a bit ahead. She's top damage in the game currently. But Orphea is doing very, very well. Dexan trying for the turn-in. The bird as well has to cancel. But if the evil is able to deliver, then they get their Web Weavers. So objective coming in for Germany any moment now. There it is. Can they get a kill here? Oh, they got close, but they couldn't quite make it happen. Deathwing again. Vala. Lots and lots of auto attack damage here. Great save as Whoopi goes for the explosion. Everybody low, but Brightwing, yeah, to the rescue. Lots of ults have been used here. But the Web Weavers are still going to come down as both teams are relying on 5 heroes. Anduin hasn't died, and neither has Junkrat. Those are the only 2 heroes in the game that haven't fallen yet. Vala has lost only one of her Gambit stacks, so she's still sitting at 20% currently. But, whew, we got a game on our hands. Like, this is wild, seriously. Last time Germany was able to win the decisive battle and then turn it. Vala in the corner right now with the Entomb. And then Anduin again with the play and the save. Diva is at the top, so that's a problem. The Web Weaver making it through the middle, and down at the bottom of the map, it's also still standing as they're trying to go for the keep. Damage is coming out now slowly as Whoopi is slowly moving in, and they're starting to at least try and hold the side lane. They're actually making a move for Whoopi, but Athletic Bird has to jump out, and the defense of Sweden was just a bit too strong. Pushed more into a corner, lot more map control now for Germany, but it came at a hefty price. All their gems are gone, and when we're talking about gems and turn-ins, they are again even. Both teams with the same amount of Web Weaver waves so far. And Sweden is obviously ahead. They were able to take down a keep at the bot lane, and they also damaged the core itself. So, looking really strong here. Now, who's going to take this? One team fight is all that's needed at the end of the day in order to decide this. And we'll see sooner rather than later, I suppose, who's going to be able to make that happen. Don't forget that the blue team by now has essentially enough gems to get another turn in, and one more Web Weaver wave for Sweden would spell out disaster for the Germans. They are ahead in the best of 5 series, but can they go all the way? Yeah, Leo. Alright, checking this out. Are they going to go for the Entomb here? They have that choke point. Entomb is in against 2. Leo needs to rush out. There's the Riptire. Team still fully alive, but it seems like there's not going to be... Oh, Diva with the engage! And here comes Deathwing. They go for Garrosh. They get the kill. Sweden with the kill, the double, the triple, the quad kill for Sweden. Huge engage for the blue team. And now the chance to make this all happen. They're chasing Leoric as well for just a moment, but the move towards the core, perfect opportunity for the blue team. And now they've finally done it. They can go and take the core down. Only Leoric survives. And this is going to be the tie in the best of 5 series. What a beautiful game on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Sweden throwing everything against Germany. Full 5-man wipe as Leo dies to the keep at the bottom left, but the core goes down and the blue team takes the victory as we are moving on to game number 3. GG. Game number 3. Alright, so things are going to get interesting here. At a minimum, we have 4 maps today, depending on how the next one goes. But this is going to get super interesting here, because with Battlefield of Eternity, we have a map where you are getting a lot of team fights, of course. And a lot of the typical heroes that you would play on Battlefield of Eternity are kind of gone already. Now, as a quick reminder, we've seen just yesterday from the Swedish team a combination with Reyna. So they played a team composition where Jimmy was played by Azzy, and he absolutely nailed it. It was nuts. Now, this could be something that they're busting out here too. Li Ming is obviously still available as a really good damage tool on Battlefield of Eternity. You could technically try and go for Greymane, for example, if you are attempting to get some damage in. On the mage side, I suppose Chromie would be another one. Sometimes teams moved into Suljin, if there's nothing on the auto attack side available anymore. But with the recent play of Jimmy, that might be something that Team Sweden is going to do today. Now we're jumping a little bit ahead here, but this is obviously all coming from the context that all the heroes that were played cannot be played again. Since we're now heading into game number 3, that means that 20 heroes are right now not available here. And by the way, while we're heading into the draft, guys, if you're currently watching this on YouTube, make sure that you sub to the channel and hit that like button. The Nations Cup, obviously, huge event for us here. And the more people subscribe on a video and hit that like button, the better also for the algorithm. And we've had plenty of people that already came now back because they got randomly Nations Cup videos suggested in their YouTube algorithm and weren't even aware that a big tournament is happening right now. Since we're now moving into, you know, the next phase, it would be cool if we get even more on board. Certainly, definitely seen a little bit of increase in popularity on the Heroes videos, which is awesome. So if you guys aren't subbed to the channel yet, you should hit that sub button. Also make sure that you're not missing any of the big games here. But yeah, make sure that you hit the like button and sub to the channel if you haven't done it yet. And there's our Thrall pick. This time we had the first pick for Team Germany. They banned out Thrall multiple times when Team Sweden had first pick. Now they let him go through the draft and they're instantly saying, yeah, we're not really interested in Li Ming here. If you want to have her, hey, by all means go for it. But we're going to get Thrall. So now we have Li Ming on the other side. Insta pick for her together with Lucio. And yeah, Chromie banned out. So when it comes to range poke, Team Germany will have to adjust a little bit. But they prioritize Thrall clearly high enough that they said whatever else is available, we just want to make sure that we get him. And I would honestly assume that we're going to get Echo of Elements here. We've seen tons and tons of Wind Fury plays in the recent past, but on Battlefield of Eternity in particular, it has been more about Echo of Elements thus far, but I guess time will tell. We get a Nubarak and we get Chen, so Chen is going to sit at the top lane, the evil panda for the German team. And then over on the blue team side, let's see if we're still going to get our Jimmy pick, or if this time they're just letting this one play out with Li Ming. No Ana, though. So no nano boost on her with Lucio can be mega annoying. Tyrande gets banned. She has the advantage of her utilizing oftentimes her Hunter's Mark against the Immortal. You can either use this against an opponent's hero if you're trying to burn it down quickly, or on the other side you can of course just simply come in and say, okay, we're using this against the objective, boost our damage a little bit there, and then see what we can do with it. Yeah, for the red team, what are they going to get rid of here? They get rid of Muradin. Alright, anything that can tee up Li Ming, I suppose. They have their own front line in play. But I'm still very curious what Azzy is going to pick. I mean, technically he's only Ming now. But we've seen them swap heroes a lot after the draft is over. So let's see if they are going for that or not. And of course, also, front line, side lane, they need somebody to deal with Chen. Still plenty around here. But what is their take? The series is tight, so whoever wins here takes the lead. Ooh! Stitches and Arthurs! Okay! Stitches and Arthurs from them right now, so we're gonna get some hooks. Lucy can boop the targets back, I guess. And then we have Arthurs at the top lane. That's actually pretty cool. So against Thrall, that can be quite nice. Might be another reason for the red team to go for Echo of Elements with him. I love Arthurs. I don't know why, but he has a bit of a sweet spot in my heart. Probably because of the Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3 times. Hits the nostalgia button very heavily. We get Stukov and we get Genji. So Lurking Arm as a follow-up. Genji to just zip around and potentially target Li Ming in the backline. And now with our final pick, what's going to be the follow-up on this? They have their front lines. Sven is going to hit those hooks. Chen is going to most likely use his own ult to try and save the targets as best as he can. But yeah. Let's go. There's the Tracer pick. Tracer Li Ming. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, game on. We got Battlefield of Eternity coming in as our next map here. And this is gonna get interesting for us. So, map number 3. Who is going to take it? Who takes the lead in the best of 5 series? Let's go straight to Battlefield of Eternity and find out. Prepare yourselves for battle. I'm definitely prepared. I'm prepared for a bit more action. Game 1 and 2 were awesome. More of that, please. Sven on Tracer as we're going into the game. It's actually pretty cool that we have just so much overlap when it comes to hero pools for the teams that they are oftentimes also swapping roles out. Captain Rex now on Lucio. We got Azzy on Li Ming. Galne Gulnar is playing Stitches this time. And on top of that, we have Whoopi on Arthurs. Over on the right side of the map, Chen, played by the Evil. We got Shak on Stukov, Sereni on Thrall, Athletic Bird, Athletic Bird on Genji, and Nubarak played by Dexan. And look at that quest that we just got for Thrall. I expected Echo of Elements. I didn't really think that he would go for the Maelstrom weapon over here, but Thrall came through and just said, you know what? It's Crash Lightning time, baby. Okay, so the problem with this talent these days is that you actually lose stacks when you die. 2-3 split, by the way, reacting to the top push. You are getting a lot of, you are getting a lot out of this, but still, it is a little bit crazy when you start losing heroes. So they are very confident that they can keep Thrall alive. We have an insta-kill against Li Ming, by the way. Then also the kills on both Stukov and Tracer, with Lucio being in trouble too. And bam, in comes Thrall and just drops him right away. Massive. Very, very nicely done. So 3 kills to 1 as Germany pulls ahead in the kill count. But yeah, let's see what Sereni can pull off with that level 1 choice. Definitely not what I expected for them. But if they keep Sereni alive, I mean, who knows? They might be able to do a whole lot here. Now, the Evil sitting at the top was a little bit of a weird early game with the different focus that they had on the lanes. But now we still have 3 at the top for the red team. Whereas down at the bottom of the map, they are trying to go for the mercenary camp. Top side is Tracer that's working on it. But Li Ming gets targeted again. Arthas, though, with decent control. And especially Genji needs to be careful here. So, very aggressive start into the game. And both of the teams just trying to make a play here. One of the advantage, obviously, from Sweden currently just managing the lanes the way that they are with the numbers is also that it makes it difficult for Thrall to stack. That's always one of the big things if Thrall goes for the quest that you're trying to set that up. Chen in trouble. And yeah, he actually dies. I was just waiting for him to get to the fountain and potentially put this. But yeah, not really working. Either way, by now we're having level 4 talents. And it seems like we're getting a very aggressive build for Arthas with Icy Talons. You're normally getting the follow-up with Rune Tap on level 7 too. So more of an aggressive build for him. Stukov goes down against Tracer in the middle. Thrall is sitting at 4 stacks by now. So, we'll see. Big damage if he can get to his stacks. I mean, seriously, like, you're getting an enormous amount of damage with poke through this if you can keep Thrall alive here. But if your opponent targets you well, then this could also become a problem. And it's going to be interesting against Tracer too. If he gets big damage in on those Crash Lightnings, on those Chain Lightnings, then we're actually going to get some decent damage against Tracer whenever she's nearby. And for all of the squishies that we're seeing for the blue team, this could become a problem very quickly. Depends a little bit on how well the stacking process works, and you can actually tell that the Swedes are aware of it. So they are oftentimes moving away and trying to give him as little on the target side as possible. So insta attack on Li Ming. They're going for... Oh, beautiful! Into the Immortal Stun. Nice! Great lockdown against Whoopi, and that allows them to take down Arthas. Anubarak gets attacked here. Captain Rex and Tracer, both low, but they have to sacrifice Tracer in order to make it here. And then Li Ming gets killed a moment later. It continues with the aggression that we already observed from the beginning. And damn, both of the teams, they're not giving it a rest here, are they? 6 kills to 4, and now 2 heroes down on the side of Team Sweden. They lost 3 in the fight. But this is starting to get a little bit wild. Teams are absolutely at it right now. So, blue team loses the halftime show. Genji is still poking at the bottom of the map. Thrall has also followed up his level 1 talent with stacks on level 4. Sitting at 3 currently. But yeah, it's all over the place right now. It's getting just crazy here. Big aggression. Rune Tap on 7. Talked about this already earlier. Thrall with the Ancestral Wrath now. Nubra gets attacked. Then it's Lucio. Lucio that falls. The beautiful follow-up from Stukov with the Lurking Arm on Nubarak's engage makes it impossible for Lucio to get out. And now they get a kill on Chen. What is on Stitches? What is happening here, by the way? 8 kills to 4. And Sweden, they lose Li Ming too. They're getting absolutely slapped around. Li Ming is gone, gets slapped into oblivion, and that is potentially, this should be the first Immortal for Team Germany. They're still defending here a bit. Should maybe send Thrall over. Actually, they might lose this. Germany. Whoa, close call, boys. Considering how many kills they got in those fights, that was a lot closer than expected. Thrall is already moving back out, so they're trying to get ready. Get their mana going so that they can start pushing. They are ahead in experience, so they are the lead now, which is important. But they have to try and push with the objective too. Thrall and Stukov are now moving back down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to help out here. But with the shield essentially non-existent, that Immortal is going to fall very quickly. They might not even get that wall. Good hits though for Thrall. Problem is he lost his stacks on level 4. I mean, they won the fight, so that was nice. But outside of that, not much that he can do. 8 stacks now in total. No quest reward unlocked yet. But as long as they keep Sereni alive, he's going to be fine here. And the team, you could see it right here. Once they saw Thrall approaching again, they immediately moved away. They instantly moved away and tried to make sure that there was just no way for him to get free stacks. But he's sitting at 9 stacks currently, so he's actually getting there. Doesn't need that much more. So another 6 stacks, and then you have your added damage right here. So this would already be a nice little reward. Obviously, it's all about completing that thing fully so that the target prioritization changes. But currently we have 10 kills to 4 with Stitches getting targeted and taken out. And that's a kind of wild. Guys, again, 6 minutes in, 14 kills, more than 2 kills a minute. And it's mainly the blue team that is suffering. Now Chen, there's the ult at the top, gets out, was actually trying to turn this against them. And now the bot lane is getting fully attacked as we're having Team Germany go for it. So, yeah, there we go. We have, right now, heroic abilities coming through for the opponent. No Gorge, by the way. Putrid Bile for Stitches. And we get the army for Arthur's. There's another hook. Thrall, yeah, he needs to stay alive. Pops the Sundering to make sure that that happens. If they kill him, that's too many stacks lost immediately. So, top lane, Chen still sitting tight. Not with the team at the bottom of the map, but the Immortals are spawning soon, and the red team should probably try and go for their own Shaman camp, which is the next stop for them, for sure. On the damage side, we have Thrall on 14,000, more than the top damage dealer on the Swedish side, who are running Li Ming on 14k. But yeah, the objective gets taken, and everybody is setting up for Immortal number 2, with the red team falling a little bit behind. Yeah, that Immortal was instantly attacked by the blue team, the Swedes, with solid damage here, and they win the halftime show. With a pretty comfortable margin as well, I might add. So, yeah, not too bad. 11 stacks now for Thrall. He's getting there. This is actually the fight where he could get his first reward. So, starts to get more hits in. And, well, they go for Stitches. Yeah, there's the X-Strike. Putrid Bile gets used. They still want him, but instead it's a Nubrak that is likely going to fall here. Stitches is low. Cocoon on Li Ming for a moment, but they got him out. They got Stitches out this time, but Chen is still barreling them all away, and Arthur's popping the army. So, nice moves by the Germans, but they're getting completely annihilated here. That is Genji gone, that's Stukov gone, Chen is dead, Sereni the only survivor, and not for long as Arthur has him in his grips, and that's a full 5-man team wipe. Everybody dead, everybody gone.
And we say bye-bye.
And, well, that's a big shield immortal now for Sweden, and this was huge. They killed everyone. Entire team destroyed. After all of the team fights before didn't go well for Sweden, now they annihilate the Germans, and that is momentum in their hands. Pushing at the top, pushing at the bottom of the map. Also resetting again the level 4 quest on Thrall, who's now at 0 again, and reducing the stacks that he has on his number 1 talent. He was at 12, now he's down to 6. So this is huge. This is huge for Sweden. If Thrall gained too much momentum here, this could have gotten very ugly. And now Sweden is finally putting a stop to all the German aggression that we've seen previously, and are now the ones to drive the agenda here. They have an early level 13 talent, half of a level lead. Arthur's coming through with Frost Strike. Stitches now with the range extension, of course, thanks to the baseline. And this fought at the bot lane, taking tons of damage. Fought at the top, destroyed. So structurally, the blue team has also pulled ahead here. After a great start for Germany, this is not looking all that amazing anymore. Yep, this is where it's going to get very tricky for them. 26,000 damage for Genji. Thrall still sitting at 22k. Li Ming at 22,000 as well. So if you just look at the raw numbers, the red team is still doing okay here. But they are looking for kills, and I guess Arthur's is toast. Yeah, okay. Arthur's gets caught and killed, so Whoopi now down for the second time. 9 kills to 11. That brings them back a little bit, so that's a neat little move, but obviously it really hurt what happened a minute ago. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. You're losing the entire team, and they were so close, by the way, to take out Stitches. If they would have been able to take out Stitches there, that kill would have helped them a lot. Snowballed at 5 versus 4 afterwards, and all of a sudden Bob's your uncle. Now the fort at the bot lane gets destroyed too, which means that Sweden is very heavily ahead in structures. And the good news is obviously that on the next objective you can still go for a pretty decent team fight. Your opponent has fountains nearby, that makes it a little bit harder, but if you go for a decent engage with a Nubarok and maybe follow it up with Thrall, you can still do a lot here. Now this isn't over yet, but it was a setback. Especially for someone like Thrall, who still waits to stack his level 4, who has problems on level 1 now. Yeah. At least getting one more stack in. but that doesn't necessarily make things any easier. It's going to take some time for Thrall to really ramp things up here again. But there's the engage. Just poke. Poke against Tracer specifically. Hook. Ah, missing once more. Thrall walks in and still starts to slowly poke him down as best as he can. They're diving again for Arthas. Pops the army. Army already used. Chen with a keg. Only dealing with Tracer here. Just trying to get control of Tracer. But the red team is losing Stukov. He saves himself here as Chen starts to join the fight. Now Thrall is dead once again. That's the second time that he gets obliterated. And here you have it. The main reason why this number 1 talent is not taken usually. That's exactly the problem right there. Thrall dying twice and he is basically completely reset now. So yeah, that one hurts. 3 is all that he has, and he is going to have to work overtime in order to get anywhere with that level 1 quest. Echo of Elements might have been the better choice. Maelstrom Weapon, another option. Either way, at this point, he doesn't get a lot of value for the team. A fantastic hook on Stukov leads to a second kill. Now Genji gets targeted and also eliminated. That's 12 kills for the Swedes. More than a level lead for them now. They want the Panda. They get the Panda. Chen is gone. Anubarak is dead. They wiped them again. Full 5-man team wipe. As Thrall is already back in the game, but that doesn't really help the Germans too much. Huge plays from the Swedes. And after a very shaky start into game number 3, they are now in full control. 37,000 damage from Liming. Starting to take over in the damage department. Genji's a little bit ahead of her currently. But, yeah, they're doing fantastic. 25 kills in total in the game, but that level 16 advantage obviously is now massive. You have a 1.5 level lead. Stitch is now as pulverized. In addition to that, we have Remorseless Winter for Arthas, so another amazing tool for the big fights. They're going for the mercenary camp just as the Immortal is going to move down to the bottom of the map to push together with it, so they can set up a heavy push here. And Germany doesn't even have a level 16 talent to defend against it. Yeah, the Germans, they are in trouble. We're now 13 minutes in, so the Immortal is gonna hurt. Question is always how much, but this is not going to be an easy one. Right now, towers are getting targeted right away. We have a bit of a flank set up. Arthas is going to check that out, sees it. There's the keg as Germany tries to engage. Arthas is getting pushed all the way into the walls, though. And Whoopi, yeah, is still okay. He pops his ult, and there's Lucio to help him out, too. Which means the Immortal had even more space and time to work at the bottom of the map. The wall falling quickly, and now they're making a move for the structure. And they could actually snowball this straight up towards the core, which is very, very likely that they're going to do. So, yep, they're going to make the play right here for game number 3, trying to lock in the W. And Germany is attempting to defend as best as they can. Stukov, where are those hooks? Khaldor looking for the angle again. It's going to throw them out soon, but the shield is gone at the core, and the core is losing hit points. They're moving again for Stukov. Big shove coming out. Genji is already gone. There's the cocoon. The core at 50%, and this is all she wrote. Germany losing in game number 3 as we have Sweden with the lead in the best of 5 series. GG. Map number 4. Sweden has the lead and therefore the chance to close this one out with a 3-1. Germany now will have to try and bring this back with a victory on our 4th map. 30 heroes have been played. 30 heroes are out. We are in the semifinal, as I mentioned, and whichever team loses is out of the tournament. The winner, on the other hand, is going into the grand final of the last chance qualifier. And if they are able to decide that in their favor, they will make it into the second phase of the tournament. Now, just as a little bit of a spoiler, in the next match we have Russia play against Sweden, the second seed from Sweden. In this series we have the first seed from them. So it's going to be pretty interesting who makes it. The funny thing is actually that we might end up in a second phase where there's not even a Swedish team represented, because both of the teams, the first and the third seed from Sweden is already out. The second and the first seed from Sweden are now both in the last chance qualifier, but it's not guaranteed that one of them makes it into the next phase of the event, so it could get interesting here. With 30 heroes banned, we get additional bans in the draft on Carrigan and Hogger. Hogger has been consistently banned out, and now we also have a ban on Mephisto. So, what's the red team going to do here? Blaze, yeah. Blaze, of course, as he's still available, gets picked up very quickly. And then Diablo locked in by Sven. Fantastic hero for Infernal Shrines together with Tychus, who has the Odin transformation. Again, keep in mind, the 30 heroes that were already played can't be played again. But we have a snappy draft, damn. They are going instantly for them. Sergeant Hammer and Tyrael. So now they have their Sergeant Hammer rotation over here. Got banned against them a few times too. And, well, for Sweden, it's pretty clear what they are now dealing with, so they can try to operate against it. And I'm a bit intrigued to see what they're going to do with this. You could, of course, also go into some kind of evil Medivh place and have a ley line into Apocalypse attempt, or just simply drop a portal on the German team. So it wouldn't be shocking if Medivh gets banned once more. But they ban out Chromie. Yeah, well, fair enough. Against Sergeant Hammer, with Chromie still be available, that's actually a very good ban. There's a lot of range poke, of course, against Sergeant Hammer, and especially since mobility is not one of the strengths of the hero. If you have Chromie, you can get guaranteed damage in essentially all the time. But how is Sweden going to react? Also, what are they playing as their side laner? That's the next one. What is happening with Blaze at the top, for example? They got Kane. More control. Nice. And we get Tacita. Another fantastic pick. You get a double transformation, potentially. So if he goes into Archon, then we have both Archon and Tychus with Odin. That's pretty much what the US did in the days of HGC. They love to draft this. Archon plus Odin transformation, or they threw in an Alexstrasza for the Dragon transformation. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they are choosing for Tacita on level 10. But for the red team, for the Germans, our next two picks, we're getting Jimmy and Oriel. All right. Heavy StarCraft draft currently for Team Germany. Blaze, Sergeant Hammer, and then Jimmy. So we're going. And then we got two hoodies with Tyrael and with Oriel. Okay. I'm here for it. Jimmy, I expected him on Battlefield of Eternity, and we didn't get him. Now we have him on Infernal Shrines. Final pick, Wooby. What is he going to play at the top lane? Together with Diablo. And our final choice is Illidan. Oh yeah, bring it, baby. I'm here for it. Hunt on Sergeant Hammer, I would assume. So, map number 4. It's match point for Sweden. Or can Germany force map number 5? We're going to find out right now. 4th map in the best of 5 series. We're going to Infernal Shrines. Sweden with the chance to close out the series and move on to the grand final of the last chance qualifier. Now we have, for the blue team, over on the left side, Sven on Diablo. We get Azzy on Tacita, Captain Rax on Tychus, and Wooby on Illidan with Immolation. So a bit more map control available as they're going for minion clear. Galnegulnar on Deckard Kane. And then over on the right side, the Germans. The second seed from Germany with the Evil on Blaze. Sereni on Sergeant Hammer. We get Shuck on Oriel. Athletic Bird on Reyna. Coming through with Ace in the hole. Following up on specifically, of course, Blaze with some of the slows and stuns. And then we got Dexan on Tyrael. So, let's get this party started. Let's see which team is able to take the lead here. On map number 3, it was actually the Germans, the red team, that were off to a very good start, but then Sweden shut them down in the mid-game and was able to take full control. And of course, Germany is starting to run out of room. They have to win 2 in a row now if they want to advance. If they lose here, then they are out of the tournament. And Wooby on Illidan, a special treat. So this is going to be a fun one at the top lane. We have now down at the bottom of the map camps that are getting focused more so than anything else. When it comes to builds, we got Static Charge for Tacita. And Illidan with Immolation, as mentioned, for more wave clear that he has. And of course, when we're looking towards Tychus, it's in this case not an auto attack build. He's going straight for the grenade. Diablo already moving in, trying to engage here. Sereni as the hope generator also for Oriel, who's going to be ready with the whip at any point. And I still have my eyes also a little bit on Athletic Bird, because we don't get to see Jimmy that much. It feels like a bit of a treat this weekend. It's now the second time that we get him. Jimmy can be a monster, by the way. I mean, on the damage output, he is really, really strong. So he's a great choice, usually. The problem with him is simply that he doesn't have a lot of escape tools. So there's not a lot that he can use in order to get out of the fight. Mobility is not as strong as suit, and since mobility creep in Heroes of the Storm became a big issue over the years, Jimmy is more and more vulnerable. But if you are able to keep him always in the back, and you're always, you know, stutter stepping properly, you can get lots of damage out with him. Especially when you're playing any kind of like solo queue, as long as you know always just attack the closest targets and never dive in too deep into the opponent's lineup, you can do a lot running him if your team also supports you properly. But he is vulnerable to any kind of heavy attack. So now that we have Illidan, if we get Hunt, then it's likely going to drop on either Jimmy or on Sergeant Hammer, and they're going to try for coordinated attacks on the two of them to try and lock them down. If you hunt in and get a stun, and then Tassadar follows up with some damage, maybe even an Apocalypse move from Diablo, there's lots and lots that can happen to take these out very quickly. And this is a problem that Athletic Bird is going to have throughout the game, so we'll see how he reacts to it. With level 4, we now get Fight or Flight for Jimmy, and for Sergeant Hammer, as you would expect, it's the siege tactics here for him. Our triple StarCraft lineup that they are running here. This is a bit more of a mix and match that we're getting from Team Sweden. They got 2 StarCraft characters at least. Tychus and Tassadar. We got a lot of StarCraft in this game, when you think about it. But yeah, top side now. Illidan will be, as always, with the money pick. I mean, again, money pick has so many advantages. A little bit more movement speed. You look 10% sexier as well when you ride it. And it has some bacon. But unfortunately, once you leave the money pick, you're vulnerable, and that is what's happening to Illidan here. So, Illidan down, and that's a bit of a disaster, because now Tyrael is slowing down the rotation from Azzy towards the top, and that is some nice free damage that Germany is getting on the wall. With the help of Sergeant Hammer, Jimmy, and Auriel, they're getting a lot done here. Now, Tyrael is likely going... Oh, nice penetrating around. Neat little move from Reyna. Saving Tyrael. I was just about to say... Even with Tyrael dying, I think they would have been okay taking the entire wall down for free. But that is very, very welcome for them. There's a leading experience now. The level 7 talent just hit it a bit earlier. Of course, we have a bit of a problem at the bottom of the map where the objective spawned because they gave up on this. But this is always that trade that you make. If you give up the first objective, you need to do structural damage, and they did. The issue is simply that they don't have their heroes at the bottom of the map now to defend, and if they lose the fight at the top, that would be bad. But yeah, they get out here. But the defense, let's see what they can do. Now with the blue team, of course, having most of the heroes at the top lane too, it also means that they can't do too much. Athletic Bird has moved down to the bottom of the map already. And it seems like they're going to get the better trade here. Great save on Tassadar. Yeah, the blue team helping out and making sure that Tassadar is still alive. But if you now look at the structures, this entire wall has of course been destroyed. And with the Punisher at the bottom of the map, they barely did the same thing. So this is always the hope when you're going for a push like this. You're just saying we can't get the first objective for whatever reason. Or we think we're just better pushing. So we have to do more damage with our own push than they can do with the objective. So we are going to give the first one up. And it kind of worked out for them. They still have a leading experience. They got the only kill in the game so far. And now comes the attack against Jimmy. Went into the heavy slugs, by the way. So, gonna get more slows out here. Good for his damage with the synergy on his level 1, of course, as well. There's gonna be more coming in from Blaze, particularly, but still. And Jimmy in trouble. The whip! Nice! Yeah, and Sergeant Hammer now has the mobility too. Here comes the wall. I love Tassadar and Diablo. I've been talking about this over the last couple of days multiple times. I really, really love it. Good kill. Sergeant Hammer goes down. But whenever you have Tassadar coming in and drop that wall, then you get the insta stun in. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful wall. Diablo, he's the greatest. He's the best. Everybody says so. And Tassadar, I really like him. Always liked him. He's amazing. It's a fantastic wall. And then you get the stun. It's incredible. Simply incredible. So yeah, every time they're getting the stun combos off, it's pretty awesome. Now we got Archon in too. So yeah, Commandeer Odin and Archon. So on the objective, we're going to get the double transformation. And Illidan, Metamorphosis. No hunt. Not trying to be super sneaky and aggressive with it, but Metamorphosis. And oh, Hyperion already out. Sven is in trouble here. And Sven goes down. Nice. So they get the kill on Diablo and reset his baseline. I mean, he was fully stacked and lost his souls now, but, well, he's going to be back for the next fight. So that's going to be good. In the meantime, Illidan still being a menace as usual. So this is I love this series. I gotta say, I came into this and I expected that Sweden was the clear favorite and that Sweden would be able, you know, to take this. And on a score side, this could still happen, but I didn't expect the two teams to be this close. Fantastic combo now against Reina, which costs him his life, so Jimmy is gone. But Germany is throwing everything against Sweden that they have. Illidan still fighting this out at the top, whereas down here, with 2 kills to 2, we now have both of the teams on level 11.5. And it's fun to watch this. It is so close. The teams are on eye level, and yeah, it's great. Next objective is coming in. It's going to be a Frozen Punisher. Blaze at the top. Obviously, everybody now back to business. And this is going to be the first real objective where both of the teams are likely going their forces into it. And keep in mind... Oh, Archon has already been used. So, yeah, well, they can't use it here. That's true. But they still got Odin. Khaldor has done some extra damage at the bottom of the map, trying to get the minion wave in. Illidan is on the mercenary camp. Blaze is able to get back out and also gets the XP for them. There's a chance that at least Sweden picks up a level 13 talent during the fight, but they are way behind on stacks. I mean, damn, 30 stacks already for Team Germany. This should be an absolute no-brainer for the red team. I would be shocked if they can't get this one. And this is a Frozen Punisher, as I already said. So, well, there it is. So they're starting to get more damage in, and it's party time, baby. Jimmy is sitting at the top. He's going to be the one up against Wooby for now. Oh, even Diablo is here. But Blaze is also saying hello, and the bird is instantly on the move back. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything with this. So 2 versus 2 at the top, and 3 versus 3 in the mid lane. As the Frozen Punisher is coming in, and they're going to get some value here. Sergeant Hammer's already set up. Now Diablo's slowly starting to move in. Quick defense, of course, from Team Sweden, but still, the wall is gone, and the fort is taking damage. Lots of CC tools, though. There's Apocalypse, this time with only 1 stun. Tyrell can still get out. Sergeant Hammer on the move. Illidan, is he going to go in? Yeah, he tries. The Sanctification gets used, and they're dodging a ton, but the hammer still falls. They're dropping the hammer. Illidan, Whoopi is just heavily attacking here and chasing them down. And as the game continues and forts fall, he is going to heavily enjoy the space and time that he's given. Illidan is great at chasing, and so yeah, once that the map opens up a little bit, he's going to do a lot here. Line him up. Cooldown reduction that we're getting. So this is going to be nice, especially also some synergy with the heavy slugs that were picked up on level 7 previously. Still the leading experience for Team Sweden, so all in all, they are the ones currently in... yeah, maybe they're not right in the driver's seat here. Yes, they have a leading experience, but they're also a bit behind in structures. It's not that they lost a fort, but they've taken more damage there. So, as with the previous games that we've seen between these two, can still be claimed by anyone. There's aggression against Whoopi at the top, but I would think that the late game Illidan is going to be dangerous to them. There are some CC tools, but let's face it, what do they actually have to lock Illidan down? Single target damage? Great, if you can burst him. Outside of that, a whip into a wall and a blaze jet propulsion, those are essentially your best tools. So there is not a lot that they have to deal with Illidan in the late game. I'm not even talking right now, but late game Illidan is going to be a massive problem. And already he's all alone at the structures at the top, and if anything came from Rich playing Illidan in the days of HGC, we know that you can never leave Illidan alone on structures or he's going to destroy your lane within seconds. And look at Sweden. Sweden is just spread out all over the place now. They're attacking the bot lane, they're attacking the top lane, and they're really making it difficult for the Germans to counteract that. They have Sergeant Hammer here that they oftentimes need to leave alone. Now they're moving back down in order to protect the bottom fort. But they're losing way too much ground here already. Quest is completed for Khaldor as well on level 1. Diablo is moving in. They're trying another engage. But now Germany is pinned down here as Illidan is using his mobility to rotate between middle and top again. Blaze is obviously matching this as best as possible for him. But level 16 will be ready for Sweden in just a second. And this is currently going quite well for them. They're kind of in control. Germany is more reacting than anything else, and if you are already down 1 game in the best of 5 series, then that's not really the spot you want to be in. The whip into the wall, and then there's the wall again, and Jimmy, yeah, says bye-bye.
And we say bye-bye!
So he's gone, Jimmy is dead, and that is 4 kills to 2. With level 16, we're also getting the Blades of Azeroth, And we got the Horadric staff. Alright, so this is where things can definitely go south a little bit. Now Jimmy is gone, Oriel gets attacked, Diablo just bullying everybody, Sven is pushing them back, and that opens up the attack on the fort itself, which now falls. That's the first one destroyed in this game, and Sweden is picking up some steam. The objective is also up, Illidan is already on it, so he's going to get the lead for Team Sweden. And Germany is kind of struggling here. Blaze has to bunker up. Nobody's even going for the objective. It's 16 versus 16 by now, but Germany is not doing anything here. They have with Sergeant Hammer some nice tools. Blaze makes it out. Good for him. The wall is a bit too late from Tassadar. We now have Giant Killer, and we're getting Painted Rat, and, well, they're certainly painting Deckard Cain Rat. So the old man goes down. Doesn't change the fact that Illidan is going to get a very easy objective. He's going to leave it at 39, I suppose. And it's just going to wait this out for Deckard Cain to return back onto the map. But the problem for Germany is still the same. They will have to face the music at the top lane, and very likely that fort is going to get destroyed. It might actually get destroyed before they're even making a play for it. So Germany is just saying, hey, if we can get the fort in the middle, at least we get something here. But with Illidan just having... Illidan is playing PvE. Wooby Wooby is just using his PhD in PvE to destroy the top lane. That's all that we're seeing here the entire time. He's had I mean, how long was he now at the top lane and nobody was even showing up? He took the entire objective, he pushed the lane out, now he essentially destroyed the fort. It's basically been held together. No, it's actually been killed by the minion wave. I was about to say it's been held together by nothing but spit and some gum. But that's the fort gone. And now they can take that Punisher whenever they want to, and then push with it. So Sweden is inching closer and closer to a possible participation in the grand final here, the last chance qualifier. Yeah, tough times for Germany. 56,000 damage for Sergeant Hammer. We have Tassadar on 62,000. Illidan is at the bottom of the map now and is starting to push again. So it's a 4-man top side. Germany is trying to take a bit of control and force the hand of their opponents, because Sweden would love to extend this a bit further and wait until they have level 20 talents. But right now they're just saying, alright, fair enough, let's go, make this work. Illidan is still taking another camp at the bottom of the map. Will possibly take down the minion wave too before he starts to slowly rotate towards the top. Has a little bit of time left, but yep, Whoopi comes in, gets some immolation out, takes this one, and now rotates towards the top to help the team out, or at least the mid lane for now. Diablo already here. Yeah, as expected. Illidan is actually working in the middle of the map. They don't want to lose the experience. They want to get to level 20 quickly, and they know they are having a chance to drop the wall topside very fast. Now, Illidan in the middle could also start to pressure the fort and maybe even take it out. But here, big damage is coming in. Nice follow-up from Deckard Cain. Beautiful. After the jump, Archon being used, Hyperion to throw them away. The keep has taken damage, and Illidan, oh my god, nearly killed by the Arcane Sentry here. Illidan is sitting in the middle and is going to get this one. And you look at the experience and you can tell, yep, they got level 20 any moment. But there it is. And with that we get Illidan on the demonic form. And Whoopi instantly pops it. Instantly pops the demonic form. Hit that button, show some strength, my friend. And we got the Twilight Archon on the other side. Plus respect the elderly here. A little bit of a double click that we just got there. And with that, let's see, Illidan is taking the next camp and moves from minion wave to minion wave. Germany is only reacting. They're only reacting here. They're absolutely pinned down. And they now have to soak experience until they have their own storm talents. That's going to take them an entire level. We are 16 minutes deep and Sweden controls the flow of the game completely. Germany needs some wins. But Blaze, he survives. Gets bullied by Diablo again, who pushes him into another wall. Illidan on the way towards the top, sitting now at... I mean, he's nearly top damage in Siege. Behind Tassadar, and behind Blaze, I guess, and that's essentially it. But he's pressuring the structures again. So Illidan is already on it, starts to attack the structures, uses his immolation, dodges out on the evil trying to stun him, and just look how quickly he takes down hit points on the keep. And this is just a neat little move for absolutely free. He's dancing around his opponent, he still has his ult available, the cooldown reduction, the trade kicking in. They are pushing for the bot lane. Jimmy survives for now, But Illidan is slowly taking down the evil, and he has no chance with Blaze. Blaze has no chance. I said it before and I say it again. Late game Illidan here. How are they going to stop him? They have nothing. They got no tools. They have a jet propulsion as a stun, and that's basically it. Coordinated single target damage might be enough in a decent team fight, but late game Illidan is going to murder them. Wooby has been alone on that side lane for half the game at this point, and he is demolishing it. It's a 4 versus 4 everywhere else, and Illidan reigns supreme. 20 finally ready for the Germans, but they need something. They need to make a dent in all of this. And now they're trying to 5-man the middle and force a fight, but they don't even have a lot of tools to force it. Finally, jet propulsion connects, and that's a kill against Tigers. Germany throwing everything against their opponents. Reaching 1 kill, hoping for more, chasing the top. And Wooby is apparently going back to the lane instantly here as they get a hold of Sven, and Diablo falls. Now he was fully stacked on the baseline, gets his reset, so that's good news for Sweden. But at least Germany has a little bit of momentum here, and the Shrine is activating soon. So Wooby is just doing what he does best, uses the mobility, stays on the lane, takes the minions out, and applies pressure. 1 keep has been destroyed, and they're working on the second one. Germany needs to get this Punisher and do work with him. Big Ati. But Illidan, he's gonna soon find himself on the core, and then you have to send somebody back to deal with him. And I'm honestly not sure if it's going to be Blaze. So yeah, Wooby is already working this here. Has to retreat as Blaze is there. There's the stun. Nice. But that's all that he was able to do. The Germans, they are getting the Punisher. Jimmy's dealing with the mid lane. Illidan alone is just creating so much pressure. It honestly feels... Germany, I don't think they were prepared. They were not prepared. 91,000 damage now from Tacita. 83,000 from Sergeant Hammer. Illidan still being a pain. And the evil can't die. If he dies to Illidan, if he gets baited out too far and Illidan is able to take him down, then this is going to be a nightmare. Then Illidan is going to do this by himself. But Germany is now pushing. They are saying, okay, boys, we got to do something here. Get that Hyperion out. Make that play. Come in. Push him. The 1v1, Blaze can deal with it. Blaze defends the core. We need to take a keep out here. Sergeant Hammer, let's get the damage in with her. Let's make the moves here. And so far, it's working. They are taking the keep in the middle. They will be able to claim it. They should be. The Mortar Punisher is doing work, and this is at least 1 keep down. So they are starting to get some momentum, but there's a big wave coming at the top with catapults too. Germany apparently thinking about sieging up on the core. Maybe not the worst idea considering what situation in the game they're in, but now Wooby is slowly being pushed back at the bottom, and once he arrives, Germany needs to retreat. Because if they have to fight against a chasing Illidan, good luck with that. That's not going to be a pleasant experience. Blaze is now attempting to save the keep at the top, but Germany took out a keep. There's still 2 forts standing, but they're fighting tooth and nail to stay in this series and to stay in this tournament. 4 kills to 5 in game number 4. 20 minutes in right now. And off we go. Wooby is sitting right there on the next camp. And yeah, Evil was able to deal with him at the bottom of the map, thanks to the core assist, of course, too. So, off we go. Sereni now defending in the middle. Archon, Twilight Archon is ready. They still have Odin back in 5 seconds, so they could use that too. And Illidan is back at the bot lane. So, once again, we will have to see a split. Illidan's gonna make a move for the core, potentially. Or at least he could. But the team is getting pressured back. So, Wooby is, I guess, gonna meet up with them. But catapults this deep into the series, they are gonna start to hurt. So, they have to be very, very careful here. Top side, similar situation. And again, the Germans pinned down in their base. The map belongs to Sweden. The blue team has control. I mean, all that you gotta do is, like, look at the vision on the minimap right now for Germany. They have very, very little. There's camps on the maps that they can't really get to. They're just slowly pushing these lanes out in order to buy themselves a little bit of time whenever Illidan is pulling off his shenanigans again. And Wooby is everywhere. Mid lane, bot lane, wherever in lane needs pushing, he's there and starting to deal with it. Jimmy with 55,000 damage, by the way. Tacita has by now crossed over in the 100,000 threshold. Sergeant Hammer is right there. And Illidan, by now the top siege damage dealer for Sweden, thanks to the consistent side lane plays that we're seeing. And yeah, here comes again Illidan. forcing the evil back already, who is fully aware that he has no chance if he goes toe-to-toe with him in the way he does. So, Tacit hasn't died yet on the blue team side, so that's one. Top side, that's where we now have, again, the pressure from Gulna and his boys as the shrine is activating. And, well, how do you deal with this now? If you're the red team, you essentially have to take your own camp, you have to push out the top lane and then go for it. Your opponent still has a fountain on the lane, so that's already one problem you have to deal with. And you can bet anything you want that Illidan will stay at the bottom of the map or the mid lane and trying to push it again to force the hand of their opponents. So, we'll see. All away at the top. Yeah, that's where the punish. Ooh, ult very early here from Deckard Cain, and not really the follow-up that they were hoping for, I suspect. This is still continuing down there. The evil, he is the last line of defense. And now has to deal with the catapult first, so he takes the minion wave out. Illidan working the shield on the other hand. Yeah, and look how quickly he heals himself up. He has no problems there. Illidan is a real threat right now on the core, and he's taking the shield apart as the team is fighting for the Punisher. Illidan is dancing around it. Blaze is doing as much damage as he can, but we now have 80% on the core. Whoopi is going for it. Whoopi is absolutely going for it, and he will eventually have to bow out. He can't take the entire thing, but it's an easy ult to drop him back out, and he took 36% of the core. That's the problem here. And now the fight at the top, still raging on about the Punisher. Who's going to claim this one? And Illidan gets killed! The evil pulls it off! The evil! Round of applause, hey! Dude, what the hell? What a play, taking out Whoopi in a 1 versus 1. He gets the kill. And damn, son, that's a chance for Germany to get a Punisher. Nicely done. Must have hit that jet propulsion and then get the damage in, but damn, that's something I didn't expect. Illidan was already on his way out. So right now, the opportunity at the top lane, 5 versus 4. Diablo is dead. Diablo is dead, and they're going straight in for Tacita. Blaze had to move away, but you cannot defeat evil. Evil will prevail. And, well, he showcases it again. Has to defend the bot lane, of course. But they now have the lead on the objective. Illidan, he is back in 10 seconds. Diablo was reset again. So him dying only cost him his soul stacks. So now here comes Odin. Core at 64%. 4 versus 4 now. Aegis. Ooh. Oriel. And gets zipped into the ground. Yeah, Sanctification came in too late. But look at Jimmy. Jimmy, you menace! They kill Diablo, they kill Tacita, and all of a sudden it is the Germans. It's a back and forth here. What on earth? They're going blow for blow on this one. 9 kills to 5. What is this series? Insanity. Absolute insanity now. 31 stacks against 5, but there's no heal, no support, no sustain. Tychus, and there's Illidan, and that's where things get dangerous. Can he get close enough? Comes in with the ult. Illidan, they need to drop him somehow. In comes the stay in while and listen, and doesn't connect with anything. Jimmy gets targeted. Illidan wants to clean house. He takes 1 down, goes straight in for Sergeant Hammer. Whoopi with the kills. They have no stuns. They have no tools against him. He gets 2 kills, but the Punisher has already been taken by the German team, and it's taking down the forts. Blaze with the bunker, as Illidan is again on the chase. Jimmy dead, Sergeant Hammer dead. They won. Blaze and Whoopi is at it. Blow for blow, hit for hit, one after another. The auto attacks coming in as Oriel is finally ready for an assist. But Illidan, can he be stopped? They need the damage output. Whoopi locked into a wall. There's the stun that they needed. Maybe the evil gets the cooldown back. 1 jet propulsion could be enough. The potions. Oh, it's too much to handle for them. 7 kills, 210, and catapults on the core. It is Winion time, baby. The catapults are doing mad damage now. We're 26 minutes into the game. Sanctification used all the way up at the top. The Punisher took down the fort, is working on the keep. Blaze is dealing with the catapults, but the core is now down to 45%. Has lost a lot.
and this is still going on. What an insane series. Game after game. Absolutely incredible. Sweden closer and closer to a victory. Germany fighting back the best they can, taking down a fort, going for the keep at the top, but they need to somehow deal with Illidan. Evil got the kill earlier. Can he do it again? 145,000 damage now for Sergeant Hammer and 127 for Tassadar. The Aegis with a save. Can they go for Sven? Apocalypse, big stuns, massive APOC from Diablo, but he dies again, and this time he's down for the duration. Illidan, on the other hand, they need to deal with him somehow, and I'm not sure they can. Tyrell is gone, Sergeant Hammer is gone, and Whoopi is bowing out of the fight and heals himself at the mercenary camp as Tassadar gets murdered. Germany is not giving up here. They're not giving up, but they're all low, and Illidan wants his kills. You are not prepared. He's coming in, and he is starting the chase. Oriel gets eliminated, and there it is. 2 heroes still alive, and Sweden on the move towards the core through the bot lane. They have 3 heroes available right now. The catapults need to be escorted in. The core is at 45%, and it's getting brutal here. It's getting absolutely brutal. Non-stop aggression. Not a pause in the break at this point. Illidan is immediately on it. Focus on the core. Deckard Cain is down instantly. Instantly. Deckard Cain immediately eliminated. Tychus forced back, but Illidan makes the plays. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is game. Sweden takes out Germany and moves on to the grand final of the last chance qualifier. GG. Well played.